On a quiet day in a quiet little town, the people who lived there felt trouble coming around. As the wind blew, they could feel it in the air, a strange sense of worry that was everywhere. Then, out of nowhere, a bad guy appeared. This is exactly what the town people feared. The bad guy arrived, flying through the sky. He was cackling in the air, but they didn't know why. He swooped over buildings, higher and higher he flew. But they couldn't imagine what he was about to do. In but a moment, the bad guy snatched and stole the sun, and the sky instantly turned dark for everyone. The people in the town were walking around in the dark. There was no light at all, not even a spark. They kept falling over and bumping into things. They needed the light back and all the safety it brings. The town people cried, "Someone please save us! Who can help us? Who is the bravest?" And then, in a flash through the clouds they came. The superheroes came to save the day. First came Jack, whose uniform was green, whose superpower was flying with ultimate speed. Then came Sophie, whose uniform was red, whose power was reading the thoughts in people's heads. Sophie had a sidekick, a cat named Missy, who was a perfect little superhero kitty. The three of them made a super great team, the most daring heroes the town had ever seen. Jack and Sophie got to work flying through the sky, searching for the naughty sun-stealing bad guy. Missy stayed on the ground and waited for news. Jack and Sophie would soon tell Missy what to do. Sophie used her power to locate the bad guy's thoughts. Her superpower told her they needed to head north. So off Jack and Sophie went, flying so fast through the air, searching for the bad guy. But they couldn't see him anywhere. The mission they had was really hard for these three. It was so difficult because it was too dark to see. But Jack, Sophie and Missy didn't ever give up, even if the mission was really quite tough. But on the ground, as Missy waited, she had an idea. She sent a message with her mind to Sophie so she could hear. Missy had a hidden power. She had lights in her eyes. They could use these as a torch to find the bad guy. Sophie heard this idea and thought it was grace, and Jack also said he thought the plan was just ace. So Missy joined Jack and Sophie flying through the skies, and the three of them could see thanks to Missy's torch eyes. They looked all through space. They looked here and there. Oh, the three of them looked everywhere. Then, as they peeked over a bright, sparkling star, they saw him and said, "Hey, stop where you are!" The bad guy was still trying to hide the sun, but it was too powerful and it couldn't be done. It was too bright, and a ray of light gave him away. He knew the team would chase him, but he just wanted to escape. So he flew faster and faster, as fast as he could, and there was only one hero whose speed was just as good. This was a task that was just for Jack. So he looked at the team and said, "I'll be right back." He chased the bad guy, and boy was Jack speedy. He caught up with him quickly. It was almost too easy. Jack wrestled the sun out of the bad guy's grip. It was tied up in a bag, but he couldn't let it slip. After a big old struggle, Jack finally won. And just like that, he'd rescued the sun. And Jack took out his special bad guy blaster and blasted off the bad guy so the town could live happily ever after. Then Jack shouted, "Come here, guys! I'll need a hand to carry this sun back towards the land." Then Jack, Sophie and Missy returned the sun to its spot. Carefully, though, it was ever so hot. Back down on the ground, all the town people cheered. They'd banished the man that they had all feared. They had sent him off, way out of town, and knew he would never come back around. Jack and Sophie were their heroes, and of course Missy was too. The people wanted to thank them. what could they do? But the heroes said no present was needed. They were just glad the bad guy had been defeated. The heroes loved to help in any way they could and make the world turn from bad to good. The town people praised them and asked them to stay, but now Jack and Sophie had to be on their way. The people's smiles were enough for the heroes like these, so they left the town and flew off above the trees. There were more people to help now this town had been saved. For these, Jack, Sophie and Missy, who were ever so brave.